Everything should be. Hold on. Let's make sure everything's working first. I don't even know where the camera is. Mm-hmm. All right. Shot is good. This is scene. This is one here, here. Aperture can be a bit. There we go. Flying. Set it up. A little bit of a top view this time. Right. Let's get my overlays. Oh, there we go. Hello. Hello. This and Ray, aka Dorka. Axiom. Snow. Everybody. Dreams. Enris. Lots of people here. Not even 2 minutes in. Give me a while. I'm just setting up the cameras real quick. Give me a minute. Oops, no. How are you? I'm doing okay. Yeah. Wait. Wait. Needs to show the thing that isn't being shown. There. Keep it at that angle. A bit closer. Twist a little bit. Oh no. Anchor world. Twist. Move. Flying. Turn. Oops. Turn. There we go. Welcome back, Axiom. I see you now have the energy to stay awake. I'm glad to have you here. It's been over 3 months since we last talked. I was wondering if you were still even alive. Okay, hold on. Let's get this properly done. I won't be here in the stream long. Are you perhaps on break, Snow? You better not be watching my stream while in the storage room or something. I move this window that doesn't want to move. Oh well. Let's look for music. Oh, wrong one. There, let's get that done. Let's play this one. That's fixed perfectly. Okay. Let's start reading chat. Happy Friday, Poey. Good morning to you, Gail. Because of all that talk yesterday about, you know, me being on the streets, I've decided to visit what I'd consider my hometown, at least close to what it would look like. If I could set up the cameras properly, that is. The pin number 2 would have the cameras, but facing upwards. There we go. Yeah. Set it up there. Good afternoon. You should remember
there.
this spot, Axiom. We've been here. Here or here? Should we change it from the left to the right? Oh, the angle is terrible over at Twitch. So higher, higher, higher. This thing's enormous. It doesn't even fit in the frame. How do I do this? This should work. Oh, gorgeous world I'm in today. Greg, of course not. That would fall under self-promotionals. Then let's find pin number 3. Pin number 3 is... I'm still setting up the camera, guys, so you have to bear with me. Smoothen. Of course, here I am, sitting magically over yonder. Wait, I'm squatting, yes. Oh, I haven't set up my FBT, no wonder. No wonder, gosh. What world is this? This is called Plurality Aqua, the oceans of Luma. You're ready for fitness, of course. After I calibrate my FBT, that is. Hold on. Oh, here. Come on. Work with me here. Good. Okay, that's done. Now in game. Pan the camera back. It's me. Hello, everyone. There. That should be better. The sound? What about the sound? Hold on, guys. Just fixing the camera, making sure everything is nice and cinematic.
Is on. Make Harmony
Filters,
dance
that's
again.
visibility, solid. Back. Oh, what did I click? Oh my. Focus, semi-auto. The opposite. Okay. Animals in the background, that's true. Fair enough flying mode. Pins. Pin 2. Ah, yes, the beacon. And pin 1, which is me. And I lost my light. Hold on. It's here, so meaning I need to be here. Back, expressions, next. There we go. Then we set the light strength. Where is it? Settings, light brightness, turn it down. Right temperature. And my eyes look really scary at the moment. Let's fix that. There we go. Ah, that took a bit of setup. Sorry. Hello. Yes, Axel. Hello. Fixing my coins, turning a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Is the music too loud? I think it's too loud. Eh. You don't hear music, really. Okay. You just woke up. Well, hello. Spooky. What do you mean, spooky? Whoa, it's a little loud. Okay, it's a little loud. What is your current time? It is 7:32 in the morning. Oh my. We have 70 viewers. That's quite a lot. Hello, Axiom. Right. So now that we've settled down, we're in a new place. Or, well, as weird as it sounds, we're beneath an ocean. This was the site of the old Ferality, to those who don't know. If I'm not mistaken, this was the one hosted 2 years ago. The one that I really wanted to go to. There's no music on Twitch. I see. Ah, strange. Nothing? Bizarre. Let me get it fixed, guys. No, there is none. Huh. Ah, I think I know why. Let's fix that real quick. That did not work. Hello. Nothing, really? Strange. Because on TikTok, it can be picked up. What is the source settings of this one? I see what's wrong. Bizarre as it may sound, still nothing. I wonder why. The coin has no sounds too, right? Why? Why is there no sound? Default. I'm gonna keep on scrolling until I find what works. No. 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 Which it should actually be that one. Hmm. Voice meter? No. What could it be? Sorry, TikTok chat, you have to give me a minute as I troubleshoot what's wrong with my audio over at Twitch. It's picking up my voice, but not the music. I wonder what that could be. It is Steam streaming speakers. I know, bizarre. It was working yesterday. I'm not sure what I may have touched. Advanced audio properties. See, there's desktop. Yep, it should work. One more try. Ah, it doesn't list my virtual desktop. I may have to turn on my Discord on and off real quick again. Let's see how that works. I will disappear for a very short while. Never mind. I feel bad. I'm unable to read your messages. Ah, I know. I know how. Game capture, right? Let's take a break while I think through it. And as usual, TikTok chat is being TikTok chat. Wonder where my mods are. How's the Crimson? Thank you for the confetti. I know that's weird. Audio source capture. I am. I'm checking the thing. Normally, it's gonna say virtual desktop audio is like playing or something. For some reason, it is not any longer. See, game captures there. Yeah. Stream elements stick to. Good night, Adri. Settings. Audio. Yeah, see? Why does it say Realtek? Apply. Hmm. Nothing. Weird. I know, Stepper. I'm not sure. I may have touched something instead. What you? 5 more minutes. If I can't solve it, then so be it. May TikTok be the one who can only enjoy the source of sound. Properties. Capture audio. There. Okay. It should capture that. And if I manually add the Spotify. Let's see. Let's add that. Oops. That's the Spotify behind me. See? The Spotify. So my Spotify is behind my game capture, but there's no audio. So properties. Capture audio. Okay, I'm not sure if that hacking method worked. Open advanced audio property. So Spotify needs to be assigned. There we go. Nothing. Still no music? Bizarre. It should be capturing audio. I wonder why. Capture method. Yeah. Nothing. Only my microphone. It seems like my OBS does not like capturing any of the audio sources I have. But one last hacking method I can use is we're running out of luck, guys. Looks like you have to bear with my audio list. Set monitor on advanced properties. That's actually a pretty good thing. But the thing is, what is there to monitor? No, it's not okay. When I run into technical problems, I cannot just sit on my hands and not fix it. I don't understand. See, if I set it to Realtek USB 2 properties. Let's see if this works. Okay, here's a hacky method. There should be sound now. Right? Good. I think I fixed it. As for TikTok, okay, let's stick with that. Let's not touch it. I can actually focus now on chat. Sorry about that. Took me a good almost 10 minutes. And there's still 45 of you. Hello, Fig. Crispirito. You know, James, that's the kind of actions that'll get you banned in any streamer's chat. Perhaps you weren't taught a lesson in etiquette when you were in primary school. Ah, Benzi, I can see you're asking politely, but that shall remain a mystery until further notice. Besides, what benefit would you guys gain from knowing how old I have walked this earth? Oh my. You know, I guess some things are just best left unanswered. I'll let you know when I want you guys to let you know. Wow, English is hard. Yes, Benzi, that's why I said you were being polite. And I appreciate that. I think you have to thank Artemis for the gifted sub. Only hearing my voice, I see no downside. Now for the test. Ah, now I can't hear it. Oh no. Thanks for the coins. I appreciate it, Sam. If you know Garosha, I know, I've heard much about them. The coin is silenced, probably by the strange properties of the water around me. Ah, TikTok chat, that is something I can do. I should have checked my stream settings first before starting. I wonder what I messed up in the audio. Very, very hacky way. So, into I heard water, but from what? Ah, if it isn't Mystic sending out whales. Thank you. I appreciate it. How can you breathe if you're beneath the water? I did ask someone about that when they brought me here first. You see that? Apparently that's called the beacon. The beacon provides the magical properties of underwater breathing for all those that visit. I question not how it works, only appreciate that it does. Hello, Quasi. Welcome to the stream. Mystics being very generous today, starting off the stream with a whale despite my technical difficulties. And we got a frog. What was that? Thank you, Snowy. Do I have any friends underwater? I think I do, actually. Hmm. Ah, yes. The sights, if you're curious. Solar, it's okay. Don't worry about it. There, a little less blurry for you guys so you can actually see my background. Okay, I have one last thing to try to see if my audio can be routed properly. I hope it does not break. Please tell me if you can hear the coin. The camera position when you aren't centered makes your face look long. It's from the ultra wide. No? Unfortunate. Okay, I guess that didn't work. Steam streaming speakers. Ooh. A bit of a hiccup there. I know the coin isn't working properly. Oh. Never mind. I can hear it. What does the symbols mean on my avatar? Oh, my name. This has probably been one of my more botched streams. What world is this? This is called the Oceans of Luma from Forality Aqua. This is so much better than Umbra in my opinion. Back to no music and no coin sound. Unfortunate. Of course, now it breaks. What did I do? This should work. Just pretend my coin makes sounds. I'm not gonna try and fix it anymore. So thank you for the follow, Donut. I appreciate it. What accent is that? I'm not sure. You tell me. Morality Umbra was indeed better than the abandoned mall we were in. And I see you were able to rename your account. Congratulations, Dorka. Finally, confusion shall not set in my head. Voice changer? Oh, no. This is just 100% natural me. Aside from the noise filter I have. If I don't have it on, you're gonna hear my AC and my water pumps from my aquariums. How are my teeth so sharp? I guess they were just... I never asked that myself. I mean, they were just like that when I came to be. Almost like Puss in Boots. They glow blue. I only have two colors on my body. Shades of blue and black. Oh my, I know a lot of people will take that beyond the context it's supposed to be in. I have no pink. Yes, Dorka. What is it, Ray? They are true to your words then. Thank you, Kwang. Thank you, Jamie. Ah, Gail, at least now you know what color it is. Thank you. I'm doing okay. Change of scenery for today. The color of my beans. See? Does your VR chat model have any additional cool features? You'll find out in due time. Did you create the skin by yourself? Yes. Yes, I did. What Gail said. In due time, I get to know you, and you get to know me. Any ear trackers? I don't think it works that way, Steve. Statey. How do you pronounce your name? Statey. I love how different your voice is now. You mean my morning voice? I did wake up around just an hour ago. Or perhaps it was an hour and a half. My throat is a bit scratchy from yesterday's exertion, but it seems to be recovering just fine. As for my mental faculties, though, give it a bit more time. Where's the coin sound? It doesn't work. For some odd reason. So it's just me, you, the music, and my voice. Actually, I have half a mind to end the stream, troubleshoot, and then start again. But I would feel bad leaving 45 people watching, hanging. Who knows if you'll come back? Hello, Neoplism. Let's see. The only real benefit you're gonna get is me getting my coin back. But if I do go to a new world, you won't be able to hear how it's supposed to sound. Luckily, the map I am in, the world, I'm able to play from Spotify. The OST exists there. It's called Ferality Aqua. Good morning, Zian. Don't you feel strange when you only talk and don't hear a response, only seeing text? Oh, don't worry about that. I've been used to listening to the sound of my own voice, with no ears for it to fall onto. I'm glad your day got better, Zian. That's true. If I have a guest, you wouldn't be able to hear them. A coin for luck. A coin for payment. It's a coin of many things. Welcome back, Coral. Thank you, Benzi. A hockey bug. I'm actually having a bit of audio trouble. so you're only able to pick up my voice and the music, but not the sounds of the world I'm in. Your voice is different now. What do you mean? It's the same as ever. All I have is just noise cancelling, or the noise filter. I prefer actually not to add any modifications to how I sound because it would then again start to appear unnatural. Oh my. Far above in the surface, I sense a pouch starting to slowly sink in the ocean towards my direction, with the name Mystic written on it. Thank you again, my friend. I appreciate it. Thank you for the roses too. It feels deeper, really. Perhaps all that laughter from yesterday was able to notch my vocal cords just a bit longer than usual. The last time I laughed a hard gale, to be honest, was probably more than 3 years ago or 4. When I was still talking to who I considered friends. Now, forgive me if I let a little bit loose during calls. It's just been so long. The joy of laughter, genuine laughter, is one thing you guys should not be taking for granted. Just like a refreshing breeze, you don't know when it's gonna come. Hello, Fox Fox.
Boop.
Ah, yeah. I took delight in blocking you, Alpha Fico. Blah blah. Go to another stream. And I don't remember you as well, Zoran. Hello, Kay. I wonder why your head hurts, Neo. Was it perhaps from a lack of sleep or too much laughter from yesterday's session? I sound kind of down today. That's probably because you can't hear my coin. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Two inches, Neon. 2 inches. Now let me go lean back and get a better posture. Ray, I wouldn't call that bald. I would instead call it unburdened by the weight of a shaggy mane. If it isn't choky, hi there. Doing okay. Having a bit of audio trouble because my game is not being captured Only my microphone and my Spotify. But aside from that, everything's okay. Oh yeah, Choki, I may have to ask what parameter should I adjust so when I smile, my two little fangs don't stick out on my lower lip. Looks a little, oh no, now chat can see it. Forget I said anything, chat. Still waiting on a fix for the eye jitter. It's still quite shaky, but manageable. Makes me sad that the black magic that you mentioned before is no longer available. Zaki, you have to look at what a Nova Beast is. Just go to Gumroad. That's been made by Kitomatic. Fine. Have a look at my most aerodynamic cranium. Yeah. What Rhinosk said. Pyro from Thief. That now that I look at it. Thank you, Benzi. I love Novas. They look so cute, says Love for Outdoors. Indeed, they do. I was looking at all the bases that I could pick. Because when I pick a base, I pretty much stick to it until, well, I have yet to change how I look. And Novas are the ones that just resonated right. Their proportions, their facial features, their looks, their teeth. It just seemed right. I'm okay, Stitch. Thank you for asking. Is that VR chat? Yes, it is. We're currently at the, well, okay, maybe move here a bit. There we go. That's the beacon. I wish I could have been here when the event was actually held. I bet it was absolutely magical. Now all I can see is, well, I dare say this is just an echo of the past. A fragment that still exists in our world space, accessible to all. I can just see all the people moving, chatting, making friends, enjoying the sights, listening to the harmony of the crystals, seeing the fish swim by. I really wish I was there. I really wish I was. But alas, I'm just glad we were still even able to visit this place after it was been held. What do you mean, how do I get that? I'm just here. What more is there to explain? Not only is the view beautiful, but so is the music. I don't remember hearing any music during Umbra. Only during the fireworks, that was it. He kind of fits here. You wanna know why? When I first visited here, I immediately knew, hey, hold up. All these markings look familiar. Look at my back. You see that? I don't have my jacket on. Strange how the markings on, what do I even call those things? On those structures are even similarly colored to mine. So naturally I felt at home here. Let's take off my gloves too. Here. Now I can see my hands. Oh, that's the first thing I did. I went to the highest arch of the beacon. Took me a couple of tries. Let's put on my jacket back for modesty's sake. A hand reveal? This thing. I can just take off my gloves. See? Nothing exciting about it. This your good old hand. High five. No, these hands. These hands are good for a lot of things. Au revoir. I'll see you around, Benzi. Thank you for hanging out in the stream. I wish you a great day. Grilling. Good for grilling. Yep. Put the meat on the finger and then just slowly rotate it over a fire. I hope they look wonderful in your ring. I did see that asset before. It's a little round glow sticks that you put around your ankles and wrists, if I was not mistaken. Ah. So essentially this is going to be a coinless stream. Let's see if it was actually a very big factor when it comes to audio retention. I mean, audience retention. I keep on saying audio because that's what I'm having trouble with. Oh dear. I hope it's a solution I can find quickly. Thank you, Carl. I think most of our viewers are simply sitting back and relaxing. Probably have me open in the background. Are you doing chores, work, studying, or perhaps reading a book? Hello, Finn. Welcome to the stream. Getting ready for work. It is 8:15 a.m. I take it you have to be in the office by 9, Gail. Hello, Ox, really? Is that how you read it? Ah, I see. How am I doing? I'm okay. Having a bit of an audio hiccup, but we're hanging on. If I were a god, what kind of god will I be? Probably the god of solitude. I do enjoy my time alone, or at least talking to people at a distance. Then again, that doesn't hold true once I get a move on and I close the streams. Hello, Joe. Oh no. Don't shut down. Come on. Ah. My left controller turned off again. I wonder what's wrong with it. Oh well. Doesn't matter. You still have my other hand. The paw malfunction. Thanks, Finn. I don't remember ever calling you out, Vivi. Perhaps you can remind me of an instance that I did. Wait for it to cool down. Sure, Otenshi. Nobody's stopping you. Thanks. You have to forgive me. Sometimes chat just scrolls really quick, and I'm unable to catch it. I am all on my lonesome, as you can see. Monitoring a bunch of systems, making sure my stream is working properly, making sure that I'm still in frame, the camera doesn't move, nor do I. That's a bunch of things I constantly run through in my head. So again, forgive me if I missed most of your chat. Any other outfits beside the ones you usually use? If you consider my birthday suit one, then probably yes. The explorer's outfit is the first one I've ever donned. And I've pretty much grown a liking to it. Doesn't really get in the way. Nice and thick for when you need to lie down on the dirt. If I can be in any movie, which would you choose? Huh. Probably The Time Machine. I do want to explore what the world is like many million years into the future. How will society change? What civilizations will be present? Are there even going to be people the way we know they are? Perhaps our friends, our dogs, cats, they are the new people of that age. Who knows? Hello, Nika. Good morning to you. Thank you for finally making it to stream. I was having a bit of trouble with chat earlier. Now that you're here though, I can be at peace, even if it's just a little bit. Thank you, Outdoors. I tend to try to keep my streams, as you say, calming and serene. It's just really a conversation between you and me, and wherever I am. Finn, if you ask that politely, how can I say no? My name's the same as my streamer name. It's Gebos with two B's. I might bite, Anthony. Shots is my receiving towards strangers. I'm not sure. Probably from all the laughing I made yesterday. My throat does feel mildly scratchy. The slaughter begins. Oh, Gale. Huh. Hello, Bendy. I've seen your name before. Oops. That's the problem with one microphone. There, one controller. I was supposed to click the microphone mute button in game, but apparently that was the jump. Just Sparky sent you a friend request. Sparky, who are you in chat? Yes, Axiom, I knew that would be the part that you would catch. Ghostly Sea Dog, hello. Thank you for joining my stream. Also, I see Finn has added me too. I would accept your friend request if I wasn't impaired with but one hand. Let's see. Good morning, Mello. Have you ever considered getting a pet duck? I used to have one. Well, when I was younger and in the province. He would eat a lot. He liked instant noodles. Oh, I saw it, Finn. I saw it indeed. Are you the Nova Beast with purple blue hair? Sure, why not? Hello, Sora. Remember, and remember my words well. When I reach 10,000 followers here on TikTok, I will reveal Gebus's age. Hmm. Yes, remember. Chat, behave. Do I still have my alternative avatar? Yes, I do. I have a sentimental attachment to it. A hallmark to my 4 weeks of toiling. By the way, guys, I don't mind accepting friend requests, but I sure hope you respect my solitude, the time I want for myself. I'll join you when I want to. So take no offense when I lock the door, at least for now. I think you nailed it on the head, Ross. Hello. I bet that dog is most majestic. Hello, all 62 viewers. I hope you're enjoying your stay. Not much goes on in my streams, but I try and offer new sights each time I do. Unless I grow particularly fond of a place and decide to stream a second and third time. Do I hunt? No. Such is the convenience of coin. I can just buy it all from someone else. Thank you for the heart cookie. I appreciate it. Did you make it to Ferality? Yes, I did. I traversed the deserts for 6 days and 6 nights. I finally made it to the lobby. Made it to the dealer's den. Made it to the village. Made it to Club Finn. It was rather lackluster. I hope you guys had more fun though. I just couldn't feel the magic from that place, unfortunately. Not unlike here. Not unlike here. That's a shame. I know they put in a lot of effort into it. I don't see how that question matters at all, Mr. Harry. But to answer your question, I do take my exercise religiously. I'll see you, Mello. You have a good day. I'll see you around. Any items you'd want to put in a time capsule? Probably pictures of me and my friends. The only one I had ever printed out. It'd be a shame if I just left it exposed to the ravages of time. The way you describe me, Koka, surely has a few touches of embellishments to it. I'm just like any other person. I'm just like you. I share, and I say we share the same tastes. I'm getting really bad at words. I'll see you around, love for outdoors. I hope you enjoy your commune with nature. Enjoy the breeze. Listen to the trees. Yes, Kinita, what is your question? Go ahead, ask. Why, thank you, Roshi. Thank you, Kelsey. Hello, Zach. Hello, Alan. And of course, hello, CX5. Don't worry now. If you fall asleep, I'll take it as a compliment. My AI. Do I not look real to you? Imbali? What do you mean, Koka? Did I perhaps mispronounce a word earlier? I'll see you, Naika. Thank you for dropping by stream. You have a good day. No, Alan. I'm listening to Orality Aqua's BGM, the one made by Hiyu, the Oceans of Luma. Should you get a maid outfit, Ray? Just so you know, I'm really weak to thigh highs. They're very dangerous. Why does that matter, Zach? How will it benefit you for you to know my location? Thank you, Nika. Well, I hope they're most comfortable on, Ray. I especially like the ones that are just black. Stripes are not really my thing. Imbal. Imbal? Did I ever even say such a word? I can't recall. Why do I need to say that line? Fear me if you dare. I just did. Hello, Kay. Hello, Glam. Glam with the flattery. My favorite two-wheeler would be motorcycles. I love adventure bikes. I'm not gonna tell you what model or displacement I have, though. Let's keep that a secret. It does, right, Gail? Just enough ventilation. Hello, Axiom. You somehow sound Russian. I tend to get that a lot. Maybe if I twist my tongue a little bit, modify my diction, I will sound more the way you think I am. But no, I'm not. I dig the goggles. Thanks. I'm a suit guy myself. Hello, Beast. The short version is, I'm a bit of an exile. Did a petty crime that I paid for later. Yes, I paid it off. Unfortunately, there was no capacity for forgiveness to who I have wronged. And the gates to where all Nova Beasts come from has been closed to me, which I think is forever. Good luck with your school things. Je m'appelle. Let's just say I took goods that was worth $35, and because I wasn't sure if it was gonna work for the applications I had in mind, because there was no try before you buy. But I did find a place where I could. Apparently I got caught. My mistake for using it. I paid on the spot saying I'm sorry, I just wasn't sure if your merchandise would work in what I needed it to do. So here's my payment. It was a little too late. They did take my money, but they also showed me the way out. I accept it wholeheartedly. Never pirate, guys. Support your creators over at Gumroad. Don't be like me. Thank you, Hoska. Embellish. That's the word. Embellish means to sugarcoat, to put a little extra than it actually is. You speak of me as an old hero sharing his tales, a wise old man sharing his wisdom. When in truth, I am just a person, any other, just like you. That's true, Raz. I'm glad you do, Aiden. The eyes do convey a lot, sometimes more than what words can. Hello. Are those fox ears? No. No. These are Nova Beast ears. Now I can see the similarities. Thank you. I do like the scarf as well. I want to share these sites with close friends, especially the ones that support me the most. I'll wait for that day to happen, because I know it will. You know what's funny? That name of yours, Not So Homeless Man. That's probably a title I can be wearing right now. I know. Hmm. What happened to the coin? Well, we're having a bit of audio problems, so the coin's taking a break today. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still here. You just can't hear it. Gail, good luck at work. May your travels be safe. Yes, Mass. Yes, there is. I know you can't hear it. I'll see you, Fox Fox. You have a good day. No, the Quest 3 does not have face tracking. Only the Quest Pro does. The one that I have on. That's the funny thing. I can actually miss my coin catching, and it will fall on the ground and stay there. Aqua looks the best to me. Maybe Luma too, the one with the big trees. Umbra has yet to impress me really. I can see the technical aspects of it being wondrous, but the magic just was not there. Hmm. Can you change your colors? No, I cannot. Even if I wanted to. I'm bound to the cyan and black scheme that you see before you. So thank you for the rose. Mass, you just go to Gumroad. In Gebos lore, if you actually go to my Discord and you're 18 and above, you can find out. But we are still in the progress of revamping how the server is and looks, so you may want to join at another time. What Beast said. I like how some people just pop in stream and immediately ask the technical workings of how it is, instead of being polite and saying, "Hi, hello, I like your content. I hope you don't mind. Where did you get this and that?" You don't have to answer if you're not comfortable with it. No, 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 no. People will just go into your face and say, "Where did you get that?" Rude. Typical. I don't know, Aiden. You tell me. People do indeed lack boundaries and respect. Pretty tactless. Rude. People nowadays need to be reminded of what manners are. There's a proper process to things when it comes to inquiries. Thank you, Nika. Oh, I don't know, Russ. I'm just like any other traveler. I've just grown a particular liking to this place. A connection, if you dare say. My astrology sign bears it doesn't really matter, nor do I believe in that. Hello, Nep. Uh, Thank you for asking politely. It's actually the BGM for Forality Aqua, the Oceans of Luma. It's been composed by Hiyu. They're available on Spotify. Absolutely magical, is it not, Nika? One day, show you around. Thank you, this funk. I try to keep things calm and serene. I should probably drink some water. My mouth is getting a bit dry. Stay hydrated, everyone. Don't get thirsty. Drink while you still have a bottle of water or a tap you can get water from. You have a new background. Yes. Yes, indeed, it is writing. Thank you, Geno. I too have taken a particular liking to it. Dare I say it feels like home here. It really does. What's written on my scarf, Kopossum, would be my full name. Yes, PJ, yes it is. Is that a bow tie? You tell me. That's just been part of me ever since. I can't take it off. Hello, Rapid Fox. Yes, it is the Aqua music. Wow. Hiyu. Nep. Sure. For you guys, I will. Forality Aqua. Original soundtrack. Composed by Hiyu. Well, at least the ones I'm listening to. The other tracks here are made by Skizzy. Just check it out yourself. No problem. Scrunchlicious. You make it sound like I make crunchy sounds instead. It is indeed relaxing. Very much so. Thank you, PJ. I do like it as well. I have no idea what album you're pertaining to, Stargirl. Ah. Thank you for the clarification. Crash, thank you for the coins. I know the name Billie Eilish, but do I listen to her music? No, I don't. Can't say I do, PJ. You're looking at it, Win. You're looking right at it. The coin. Yes, the coin. Thanks, Aiden. I appreciate it. I don't have one, Gavin. No, I am not Russian. I am Filipino, from Southeast Asia. Indeed it does, huh? You see that? The subtle movement above. That isn't the sky. That's the surface of the ocean. You have a good day too, Justine. Thanks for dropping by. Adorkable. No, that title belongs to you and only you, Ray. Yes, Nep. What is it? Of course. I'm not sure, Nep. It just sort of happened to be. I wish I could give a precise answer, but alas, I'm left guessing just as much as you are. Good morning to you. A Gambos accent. My own special blend of tea, but in vocal form. Cheese. Yes, cheese. Cheese is always good. Yes, by all means, you can go. Oops. Uh-oh. You have moved a bit too much. Let's move the camera here. Ray, why do you want to go here? Hello, sheep lover. Seems my throat hasn't fully recovered from yesterday. It's now starting to sound a bit loose, if that even makes sense. I mean, Ray, you'd probably right at home where I am. Have you ever been here? Hello, sheep lover. And goodbye. No, it's okay. But I did ask a honest question though. You haven't been here? Are you on PC right now? Here you go. I've accepted your invite, so you can look around. My best advice? Take your time in the cave and put your volume up. Once you exit the cave, look straight forward, a little bit up. Thank you, PJ. Hello, lawyer. I wonder how you ended up here. Probably your subconscious speaking. Surprised Stepan is not here as well. And guys. Mr. Samurai is sleeping. That's true. He's usually up around 4 a.m. my time or 5, and then he starts to do paperwork along with you. Welcome to the Discord, Coca. I love how you're spamming chat, Nigeli, and I'm obviously ignoring your messages. Nika. You're probably looking at it, Tiff. Have you eaten before? Of course I have. Spam is a staple meatloaf in the pantry over where I am. A bit more on the premium side, but yes. Thank you, Kool-Aid Man. Welcome back, Stardust. Have you ever thought of making your persona poofier? I have tried, but the mane just doesn't work with me. Hello, Cisco. Also, thank you for the paper crane and the ice cream cone. I don't know if you're still here, Kopossum, but you have my thanks. Good night, lawyer. Rest well. May you have Stepan in your dreams, saying how he, is a scarf enchanted. This? It's a little something from my hometown. I love your accent. It reminds me of Skyrim. Really? Do I perhaps sound like the guards? I used to be an adventurer like you, until I took an arrow to the knee. I look like a Pokemon. Well, quite the fair description, Luna. Perhaps you're speaking about Lucario by any chance. Or Umbreon, that works too, but I do need the yellows instead of the blues. Ray is somewhere here in this instance, probably exploring. I see. The shiny Umbreon. Here. I've been slouching since earlier, so... And let's take off the scarf for a little while. Stick with that. They wouldn't be goggles if I couldn't use them, wouldn't they, Kopossum? Of course you're happy, Gale. I bet you're enjoying the view. Okay. Well, I hope the tornado doesn't wreck your place. Those can be rather ruthless things of nature. The view and the voice is different, really. No, Finbar. Fortunately, I do not. I see. Now it's my right controller. Power stands too. What are you talking about, Gale? I'm mildly confused. Good evening, Fox Shadows. Welcome to the stream. Feels strange having my neck exposed this way. Maybe I should put back my scarf. There might be vampires about. Luna, I'm from Southeast Asia, the Philippines. What games do I like? Games like Battlefield or Factorio, or even RPGs. I like games with definite progression to them. Especially ones where the loot has a chance to drop from enemies, not craft them. Thank you, Finbar. Let's put the scarf back on. Seems to be getting dangerous. Yes, I played Stardew Valley. I played it on a Monday and somehow managed to close it only when Wednesday came. Diablo 4, nah, it was overpriced for what it was. I did play a lot of Path of Exile though. I like how Saber comes in and immediately asks all of my system specs, instead of doing the polite thing and saying hi. Yes, it does, Finbar. Yes, it does. I hope you have fun with Stardew Valley, Luna. It can be most addicting. Well, Ray. You just have to use a bunch of the plant life to get up. That's my big clue. I saw your model on VR last night. Where? Did we perhaps run into each other? I was at the dealer's then, for a little bit. That is indeed what I see. That's what in front of me while I'm chatting with you guys. It's enormous. Viewing it through your screen just does not give it the justice it deserves. And this is what's behind me. Notice the fish, the swaying of the seagrass, the subtle aurora on the surface of the ocean, the enchanted underwater lake snaking across the horizon. The tree, the beacon. Oh, Ray is around. I think she's having fun, given that this is an aquatic instance. Yep, there she is. She's running around the grass. She's near the tree. Very small. That's cute. Silly little girl. I'm glad she's enchanted by the place. Ooh, Nika, you accidentally muted someone else. Reminds me of Subnautica. Oh, this place indeed does have that vibe. VR seems so much fun. Yes, it is. It very much is. It's absolutely magical. Welcome back from your art. Also, hello, Cameron. I didn't notice you arriving. It's raining, says Freddy. It's wonderful when you're indoors. Not so much when you don't have a roof over your head. Oka says, if you would read stories out of an adventure book, you might be my first choice for streams to fall asleep. Thank your voice, I guess. You know, perhaps this weekend I'm gonna try my first ever reading stream. Whenever chat isn't asking me questions, I'm gonna resume by reading something. I'm gonna need suggestions though. Could it be a book? Poetry? An encyclopedia? Who knows? Hi Cameron, I'm okay. Having a bit of audio troubles, but yeah. Philosophy, fantasy novels. I'm not sure I'd do great with scary stories though. Not with my method of delivery. Philosophy might end up dividing chat. Some would even say I'd be starting a cult. Yes, Tiff, I indeed have developed what I'd call desert sniffles. My 6 days of journeying through the sand seems to have made my nose rather ticklish to the elements. Probably began when sand started getting into it. Not Harry Potter books, no. I'm not sure, Aiden. Probably Luna. Let's see. I'm gonna ask around in my Discord. Ah, Eragon. Yes, I remember owning that book before. He had the most uncanny design for being a dragon. He looked like a rather unattractive horse. Hello, Drax. He should do coats. The Wheels of Time. No, I have not read that yet. Sci-fi books, though, I absolutely love. The Wheels of Time. I absolutely love the game Journey. That's where I got the inspiration from, and how it moves. See? Yeah. doing dishes while watching my stream. I see. My favorite anime. I can't quite pinpoint one exactly, but it probably has to be Made in Abyss when it comes to story and, well, the music. I can see Ray trying her best to get to where I am. One of many futile efforts. The Legend of Zelda, of course. Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece. An absolutely stunning masterpiece. I'm talking about the movies, though. I'm okay, Chaotic Foxy. I still enjoyed it. Hello, Jasmine. Oh, it seems Ray might just find a way here. She is crossing the bridge. Do you see that little girl? Smart. Ah. I see she is not bound to being limited by the quest. Hello. Don't mind me, I also am unable to hear you though, Ray. I have problems with my audio. Unfortunately, I mentioned it earlier on stream. They can't even hear my coin. I can see your mouth moving, but not to obtain the words you're trying to deliver. That is a most adorably sized Nova. If some viewers draw my avatar. Yes, they do. That would be Ray. He has every right to boo. One of the few. It's strange, I feel like I'm a spirit. I cannot hear what the corporeal are saying. Yet I can see the eagerness in the communication that wants to be established. She is my friend, and also a very big supporter. I wonder who would draw your avatar. I don't know, Snowy. I can't hear you, unfortunately, but you're more than welcome to stay and sit. Just absorb the view. Also, welcome to PCVR. Now you and I can take strolls and adventure to new places. There's this one cave I wanted to explore with a companion. I would dare not tread alone. Let me go mute myself in game so they can listen to my streams instead. Yes, I am in Aqua indeed. You wanna see her? Here you go, child. That is Ray. That's my hands. A little hard to get in frame, but we now have a guest. Not to know. She cannot hear me. My audio isn't working properly. If it isn't Celeste, hello. Nika says hi. My mod seem to be having a... No, not seem. They do have a particular liking to you. Thank you for following, Eliu. She is indeed trying to boop me. That is true. Let's move up a bit. I didn't know I was sinking into the ground. Also, hello, Celeste. Yes, this is indeed VR chat. As you can see, we have Ray here. And... Right. Have you looked around? Did you know you can actually go to the top of the beacon? To get to the top of the beacon, go by its foot, and then you will see a particular spring that has an upwards current. Timer jumps right, and you might just make it to one of the arches. Now go. Show us you can do it. And off she scampers. I know you can't hear her. Because as I've said, I've been having a bit of problems with my audio. You should see her crossing the bridge now though. Any moment now for TikTok, and there she is. Look at how small she is compared to the structure, so you can grasp a better sense of scale. Also, thank you, Jace. Also, to you, Tiff. I wonder if she's gonna make it. I'm most curious about her progress. Let's see. She is quite a ways away. That is the spring I was talking about. If you will notice, that's difficult to get right. But yeah, you see that? That is the thing that she needs to set her foot on. So she's propelled upwards, upwards and upwards. And ends up on the arches. Oh, I am still very much here. Just keen on seeing if Ray can make it up there. Took me a number of tries. That's true, Kolka. Can you try typing it yourself? I think it's the bots who are unable to invoke the commands. See? Gloms was able to. And good morning to you. And there she is. She can make it. Yes, she can. Do you see that little thing? That's Ray. Way into the distance. What is your question, Raven? Yes, Ray, we see you. Oh, I've had a bunch of friends with eye tracking Venus. It's quite the experience, really, especially in VR. Thank you for showing that the commands work, Glomps. I appreciate it. May the wings be ever in your favor. Do you do VA chat? What do you mean? Ray, you got this. I believe in you. I already see. I can see you've made it at least halfway up. No, this is a PC and Quest world. Unfortunately, if you plan to visit, I will be unable to hear you due to audio issues. May the trees be ever in your favor. I see. Yeah, this is a PC and Quest world. I'm now watching on my PC. Got my spine tingling. What do you mean? If you go to my Twitch, you can set me on full screen. Because there's a 16:9 ratio. What's the world's name? It is called Forality Aqua, the Oceans of Luma. I wish I could visit. Work is holding our confetti tier hostage. Now, I might just be here a while, or I could take a short lunch break, fix my audio issues, and then come back. I'm in the mood where I think I want to hang out with my VR chat friends today. Yesterday it was me and my Discord friends. Can I call you Dad? The thing is, I am a father of no one, but I can be a brother to everyone. Thank you, Pharaoh. You too, Rat. You have a good day. What time is it? It's currently 9:30 a.m. And I've been streaming for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Welcome to Twitch, Jasper. I should be in higher fidelity here. Better view. Wider. I speak only the truth, Tiff. Am I a fan of sweets? It depends on what. I wish I could have experienced the magic you had, Jasmine. I am left but with a shadow of what it was. Hello, Snow. Hello, Moonlight Glow. Snow, aren't you stuck at work at the moment? Thanks, Blue. Oh, I bet it was amazing. Hello, Chris. Oh, you don't work yet? Okay, Snow. And thank you, Privy. I hope you find a content creator you can find comfortable in. There's so many of us out there. Good luck. How long have I been playing VR? I've only started this February. Brad, if I was an AI, I would be capable of solving any mathematical question you ask. Unfortunately, I'm only good until the point where letters are not involved. I appreciate the compliment. You got this, Ray. I hope your streams are most successful, Toxic Headshot. I'll see you, Celeste. You have a good day. You wanna boo. You're around a kilometer away from where I am. No. This size? Around 250 meters. I support anybody that isn't harming anybody else. Ray, have you made it to the top of the arch yet? You should. If you want to see who I'm talking about. Do you see that tiny speck over there? Let's bring a zoom in. To have an idea of how large the beacon is, just look at her. And she fell. I'll see you around, Snow. I can't get over the Victorian Russian accent. Really? I don't think I sound Russian at all. They have much harder R's. Oh yes, I know. I've been there. It took me 15 minutes until I could get it right. Now Ray is going through the same tribulation as I have, but I have faith she's gonna make it to the top. Watch as her pixelated self almost makes it. Barely so. Okay, Moonlight. That sounds cool. I'm not sure, Stench. You tell me. I just speak the way I am. It is definitely not Italian or even of French descent. A common pick would be Russian, but Russians sound a little different. They're more bendy with their words and harder R's. That's how they sound. Definitely not stoic and German. You're almost there, Ray. I can see you clinging onto the wall. Where is she? Up, up, up. There's Ray. Do you see that? Tiny bit. And she's about to fall. The structure is absolutely enormous. What are lasagna funds? Funds for the lasagna. Well, welcome to the stream, Razor. Any and all are accepted as long as you respect your fellow human beings. And they're not an annoyance on my stream. Good morning, Catherine. Yes, Tiff. Well, actually, to be precise, I use it to buy grocery. It's more of a feed the Gebos fund more than the lasagna fund. But to be fair, I did get 3 trays of lasagna for the past 2 weeks. Yes, no, this is the Forality Aqua World. As you can see, the beacon is right before me, in all its majesty. How much does your grocery cost? A lot. Food prices have pretty much doubled compared to the past 3 years. And the salary has not caught up. It's getting to... Well, let's just say it's getting harder to live day by day. Cookies would be most appreciated. Thank you for the roses, ZJ. How kind of you. Ray, weren't you in the middle of trying to climb and you immediately sent a corgi? I see you don't want anybody else taking your spot of support. Oh my. How about after the stream, let's hang out somewhere. If you're still up. Yes, I just breathed fire, yes. It's from an itchy nose. With enough effort, it can be more than just a sneeze. But I don't use that very often. A little harsh in the throat. And of course, Snowy had to witness that. Now he knows one of my secrets. Yes, I have, Razor. What will it look like from this POV? How long is the beam? Ooh. Good night, Luna James. Thank you for hanging out on stream. I would offer you a tissue, but I fear it would catch fire. A most accurate assessment. Nika, it's still early. Just calm your brownies. And everything will be okay. Remember, Hand roll discipline is the best. Sorry about that, champ. Wonder where Ray is. We're still going strong with 50 viewers. Hello, everyone. How long has it been since you left the village? A couple of days. I saw the fireworks once and I didn't attend anything else after. I just went on my way. My first pit stop was an enchanted cavern. I streamed it the other day. And now here we are. A place that I would call more magical than Umbra itself. If you rest well, thank you for hanging out and stream. Oh no, Ray is on her way back. Is that where you got your scarf? No. This came from my hometown. It's the only memento I have. What are you narrating? I'm narrating nothing. The goggles are standard issue. Pretty much every explorer has it. Dare I say every Nova Beast citizen has it. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I know. Quite the magical place. That's why I'm here. Yes. Cold, arid environments. Everything in between. As long as your eyes needs protecting, that's where it comes into use. If it isn't Ray. Still, the barrier between her voice and my ears has yet to go down. I can only see her moving. Hello, Ray. Right when my left controller dies. Did you have fun? I saw you almost made it. Until what time are you gonna be awake, Ray? One hour? Eight hours? Wait, hold on. My camera is... Uh-oh, of course. Flying. I'm in a one-handed mode. Where am I? Where are we? There we are. Let's go back. I know you guys on Twitch can see Ray, but What if a monster gets mad? Well, gets me while my left controller is dead. I very much still have my right hand. Right? Let's go back and actually see where we are. Oops. Here. There you go. Conversation between us two. You're gonna stay up for 10 more hours. Is that even healthy? It's not healthy, Jack. Don't listen to her. She's a bad example. These things, they don't work. I cannot hear you. I bet you're saying stuff that, if caught on stream, would make you run for the hills. That's Ray. She's one of my friends. She also streams. She wanted to visit this world. She's never seen it. No? Sure. Whatever you say, Ray. If it isn't Ace, hello. Okay. TikTok disclaimer, that's a swimsuit, not lingerie. Let's put the camera back here. Snowy, take your time. Hello, Ace. Also, Razor, I do watch anime. Quite a bit. After stream, you better be prepared. After stream means we're gonna have a conversation. No, I haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my friend. She's been mildly distracting, putting it kindly. Thank you, Eisenberg. No, Ray, it's okay. We talked about this. The kryptonite. I need to stretch. Oh dear. The animation could use some work, but I've read the manga though of Kengan Ashura. It's really good. Not the yawn, I know. After stream, I'm probably gonna go make a snack. I already have it prepared. It'll take me no less than 5 minutes. And then, let's see who I can hang out with. Who's online even? Regardless of who's online, they have to fall in line. So you sit tight. I have around maybe another 30 minutes, and then we're free to have fun after. Explore and whatnot. I also have to fix my audio issues, probably fixable with the computer restart. The underwater classroom. Ah, I need to bring you there. It's perfect visual novel background. It's very good. I think you'll get the feelings I felt once you go to that place as well. You should probably put your tongue back in your mouth. It's been hanging for the past 60 seconds. I know you're excited. We'll go there. I'm gonna bring you to various places after, okay? I'm sorry, chat. Where did you come from? I mean, from my travels. That's where I came from. Oh my god, this is so difficult. okay. Try it this way. Imagine you're in an interview, chat. You're really hungry. And it just so happens a cart with a plate of your favorite meal, just letting out that aroma you just love, suddenly fills your nostrils. Guys, go get your food. I too should get my food in a bit. Once my viewer count goes below 30, I'm gonna go. Let's stick with that. Gail, where are you, Gail? She's busy at work. You're a loss. Thank you, Isabella. Have I seen you before on stream? So you're made up of atoms built up together. Kate, I am made of, well, definitely something. Probably not the same as what you're made of, but it's the form that matters. Go have sleep, Mom Savatun. Magic. That's. I mean. Probably. I wish I could hear her. I absolutely cannot hear anything. Ah. Hold on. May have found a workaround. Nah, the audio still doesn't work on OBS. I can hear her now, but Twitch cannot hear what she says. The name of the underclassroom world. Say hello to Ray. Oh, God. All right, say hello. Hello, chat. This is Ray. I hope Gail is happy. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna eat her head. Okay, chat, if I keep the camera on there any longer, I might get flagged for breaking TOS. So. Let's go back to here. Now I am unable to hear Ray anymore, and you guys can hear, well, the music again. It's a trade off. Also, Gail says, thank you for today's blessing. He says you're adorable, that's why. Isn't she cold? Oh, no worry. I think she's well adapted to colder environments, so she doesn't need as much clothing. That's my hypothesis, at least. Thank you, Box. Come on, Gail, take your 5-minute break. Do your thing, and then you'll feel refreshed. Getting fresh air out of the office is truly refreshing. Gail. The body shape of Ray and height could be just like Gail's. Gail did tell me she was. I cannot reveal her height on stream. No, I will spare her that. That's pretty accurate, though. Let's see. Come here. He's there. This is how tall she is. It's around here. Behavior. Oh. There. A little better, right? What? I'm reading chat. The window so far. Hold on. Oops. Let me get that fixed. There it is. She's half your height. What else? I really like your voice. Him with his goggles and eyes kind of remind me of Go No. Dude, Gail, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I cannot hear you, unfortunately. Dude. Oh. What are you doing? Making me sneeze. What's happening with chat? I see Gay likes height. How come when I stand up, my viewer count goes really low? I can't hear you. The trade-off. Should I sacrifice Twitch so I can hear Ray and so can TikTok? Yes, everybody on TikTok says yes. Screw Twitch. Oh no. I'd want to hear Ray even for a bit. You have to go to. Why is my? You have to go to TikTok game. Let's do it. And so silence ensues. They can hear you now. Why are you holding onto my thing? That's it's okay. It's okay. I see you, Sky. Fix this. What? You've only seen it now? Oh. Hipster. Okay. I'm gonna see it. Right. Sorry about that, chat. Yes, yes, you may. I uh, are you happy now? Eyes up here, chat. Right. Gail goes boo. Yes, she just wants to. Gail, shouldn't you focus on your tasks? Gail, you will be given boobs and probably more should you get VR. You've heard it from Ray herself. Congratulations. What? We're gonna switch audio back to how it was earlier. Okay, welcome back. I unfortunately am unable to hear Ray again, but you have my music back. Oh, how can I go when there's 42 people watching? Gail, I have such sights to show you, people to introduce to. Hmm. And Nika, you need to get your headset as well. All of my assassins need to be here with me. Yes, Kinito, what is it? Hello, Highs. Welcome back to stream. Pretty much stuff that sounds cinematic. OSTs, BGMs, the occasional meme song now and then. Alright, Gail, I hope you had your treat. Don't thank me, thank her. I'm not sure what crime I've committed, Snowy, but I apologize. And so somehow Ray finds a way. Oh, wait! I have gym at 12 o'clock, how can I forget? Which means I actually get to stay on VR instead of napping.
You're looking good, Jay. Keep it that way, bossman.
Right. Thank you, Alan. Okay, chat. Last 5 minutes. And then I have to take a quick lunch break, do a hangout, and then go exercise at 12 o'clock. I have to fit all that within an hour and 45. Yeah, sneaker. What? What are you asking, Heiz? Also, thank you for the roses. Solstice. Chronic K9. Ah, you've given before, and you've given again. So thank you. Have fun at the gym. Don't flex too much. Oh, don't worry. If you want to watch me live while working out, all you have to do is go to Twitch and head on to the Soaring Fitness channel. Me and a bunch of my friends are, well, we're always there Tuesdays and Thursdays. So yeah, essentially, that's the alternative place to be. When will I be streaming again? Oo nga eh. Gago ni ka, kadiri. Ban mo na kasi. I'll probably be streaming maybe this evening. I was able to go rest for a good 9 hours last night. Plenty of energy. I hope it does not betray me later though. Why is Ray sad? You know what? I'm actually pressed for time, so I may have to end the stream now. If only I didn't have to work out later, but alas. Never break your commitment to improving your own health. Never cancel the date with fitness. Alright, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning into my stream. We're not gonna make any raids because that's gonna consume a lot of time and I have to be obligated to say hello to the other streamer. With that, I will catch you again later. Bye bye, TikTok. And to my Twitch. You. Yes, you, Gaia. Time for some chichiria. I catch you later. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Always.